conversation is not the only opportunity for us to discuss, but it's pretty much a process of continual this dialogue. For me, this is a project that I have been on for 3 years now. When we talk about assessment, this is a very classical environment. That is, they've been assigned to a set of time, they sit in a place and do whatever that's in their brain. But we know that in university, the type of assessment has been kind of a mix of mood, a mix of assessment tasks. So it's not just sitting, doing quiz, if not essays. So for us, I have started a smart assessment, and what it meant is not just smart, being smart, all right? It's not about how smart you design your assessment. It's what the assessment should compile a mix of components. Let me sort of elaborate a little bit. S stands for synthesizing knowledge. M meant to be measuring student performance. A meant to be authenticity of the assessment task. R meant to be the relevance of the assessment, how it relates to students, if not to the professional practice. And then T meant to be the timely feedback. Having had the privilege to talk to a number of teachers and students around this sort of area, what I have found out is there are very interesting findings. And ultimately, we have compiled a website to tell some of the stories. First of all, we have run a number of workshops with teachers on assessment, and we also have direct dialogue with individual faculty members. And out of those teachers, we select 9 champions on the assessment. And also, we also have communicate or have interviews with 29 students on the assessment experience. Later on, I will show you the site that we have created, and then I'll invite you to spend some time to watch some of them. And here is a list of champions. And some of you, I'm sure you can recognize the face, because a few of them are from general education. And in fact, we have a community. When I say community, teachers who are interested about assessment, we added them to the community, and we invite them to have an ongoing dialogue. So what does assessment mean to students? Well, it can be exciting, it can be quite scary. But when we talk to students, we want to focus on not just about the outcome, the result, the performance, but we want to focus on how they prepare, what sort of learning strategies that they have in order to do well, if not perform well, and also whether that might impact on the way how they plan for the course selections in their program. So we gather these sort of story, and then we just select some very interesting, specific sort of ideas generated from the students and put it as student voices in the website. So it's not the end of my presentation yet, partly because I will bring you to the website first. This is the website. Looks very clean and simple. And that actually, if just scroll down, here are, oops, didn't show the champions. It's meant to be the nice photos of the champions that I show you. But I don't know whether this is a different sort of version. But if you have your time, when you go back, you can see the beautiful champions' faces there. And also, we have videos related to each examples. So if you click through just any one of those, we select a couple of 2 teachers' examples in each case. And maybe I just show you Michael, even though Michael is not here.
I'm Michael Lower from the Faculty of Law. In this presentation, I explain a change to my assessment practice. In the traditional lecture format, it's the lecturer who produces knowledge, in the sense that he or she chooses the issues to be covered and articulates his or her understanding of what's known about the issue. The student voice is largely absent. The higher order cognitive skills associated with higher education, such as the development of critical thinking, metacognitive and self-directed learning skills, are best achieved when students participate in collaborative communities of inquiry. Students work together on problems that they've chosen. These learning communities produce new knowledge. Students frame their own problems, reason together, and produce their own conclusions, which they may make available for critical comment by others, so that collaborative student work dominates classroom time. Assessment plays.
As I said, this is a flavor about the examples shared with us, and we convert it into interesting stories to share with you. But as I said, this is only one examples, and if you go back to the homepage, we will have other story in different topic. As we have colleagues here, well, maybe let me show you a timely feedback. Do you want to look at timely feedback? Just have a flavor what it's meant to be timely feedback. Because Kenneth is here, I would like to show his work to share with you.
每一個學期我都會俾同學主動地去提出要唔要有30分鐘嘅面談時間嘅。如果同學願意嘅話咧，其實可以有唔同時間都約談嘅。
It's a luxury for the
面談
student.
嗰30分鐘其實係一個好有效率嘅溝通。一開始我係用電腦裏邊去打啲意見俾同學嘅，咁一來就會發覺其實係用咗好多時間，但係未必可以充分表達到嘅原意啦。咁如果你要好仔細地表達到嘅諗法嘅話咧，你可能要用好多嘅字詞寫一大段先得啦。每位老師有150個同學嘅時候，又有幾份功課嘅時候咧，會要仔細地去表達到個 feedback 其實好難咯。如果面對面面談嘅話咧，咁我哋可能用30分鐘嘅時間就面對面表達，咁就會好多前前後後來回 feedback 嗰個嘅情況可以出現。另外就係會發覺咧，面談嘅時候同啲同學傾談嘅時候咧，會知多咗佢好多嘅諗法。因為有啲同學可能喺1對1嘅面談裏邊咧，冇咁大嘅心理負擔啦，佢容易都去表達到嗰個嘅佢自己心裏邊嘅諗法。上堂嘅時間可能比較緊迫啦，同埋喺一大班人面前，同學未必咁容易可以即時有一個好仔細嘅回應同思考，要清晰地表達到一個複雜嘅問題，個要求係好高嘅。如果透過面談討論，大家可以透過互動啦，互相之間去挑戰啊、引領啊咁樣，就會同學可以一齊慢慢去將一個好複雜嘅問題一步一步去思考嘅話。
Okay, I'll let you have more time to watch the rest of the video. Well, we got some very great ideas from teachers. But as I said, the whole project involves students. And when we talk to the students, they do have some excellent ideas in terms of how they prepare and how they set their own challenge. Early on, when we heard about colleagues talk about whether students care about their grades and marks, surely they do. But is that the only sort of interest they have? Particularly those motivated students. They would like to set their own challenges. So let me just give you a quick sort of video about the students' sort of perception in terms of what challenges they would like to have. Sorry, a little bit is the same opening.
Study journey. Many students choose a common way. However, some students choose to have a challenging one.
We chose to create our own curriculum because we want to try something new. We think it will be really interesting.
So sometimes we think students just want to have a pass.
We
No.
always criticize something, but we would like to create something new this time. We spend all of the knowledge that we have learned and all of our new ideas on creating something.
Is that your student?
When doing group project, I like to pick exchange students. The first reason is about it's challenging. I think that it's a challenge for myself. How can I engage him/her in this project?
I just wanted to try it out and put my ideas in the video. Although I didn't really have experiences in making videos, my thought was that is something creative to make, so it would be fun making it.
okay, you can have a sense. Students want to do something different. They want to create something new. They want to give their own challenges. But of course, not all students are the same. Some students will say, I just want to have a pass. But when we talk to some students, when they are motivated, they really want to give that sort of challenge to themselves, not given by the teachers, right? And when we ask them about learning strategies, some of them will say, oh, we will talk to our peers, we will consult the senior students. And for medical students, as you can imagine, there are so many difficult terms they have to remember, to recall. Do you know how they can manage to remember all these difficult terms? Let's have a look at a few minutes of them, what they do. If your students need to remember a lot of hard terms,
difficult
see
to
what they
remember.
do.
For example, pharmacy. In a big category of drugs, like antiemetic drugs, it has so many kinds of drugs with different generations. Different generations have different principles, structures and side effects.
One of the ways that I study is to find A4 paper and wrote the big question on it, like antiemetic drugs. Then draw a picture depicting a vomiting person, and the structure when he is vomiting, like the brain, stomach, month. That is how the whole process runs. This can help you better memorize them. For example, one type of drugs has 10 side effects. Then you draw a table with that 10 side effects, using pictures to memorize, visualize. Then during exam, you would have the impression that particular drug is in that particular place, so that you can systematically memorize the things.
So if you want to share with your students more tips, it's not the end of it. We've got a few more to come. So after 3 years, there is a collection of interesting teaching, effective teaching practices, and some good student strategies in how they prepare for the university success. And for me, we've gone through a very good dialogue, not just because for myself, but each time when I have opportunity talking to individual faculty members, there's time for reflection, time for them to think what they have done now, whether they want to make any changes after our conversation. That becomes like a self-perpetuating learning curve for staff as well. As the project is about to close or end in February next year, I would like to continue the dialogue, and if colleagues want to talk more about how to look at the rubrics, and actually one of the stories is actually from Dr. Wong, and the story was there, and use your time to see how he can prepare his group of students as they have to use the rubrics for marking and grading. There are many wonderful stories there. So that's the end of my presentation, and thank you very much.